Oh, good. Okay.
Everything should be updated, so we should be able to start whenever you want. You can just count me down.
Alright. I'll give you the countdown to start the timer, but first, guys, why don't we enjoy this wondrous story of the year is 1999? You know, 17 years ago. Remember this? Remember with the Smash hit on TV? You remember Smash TV? I don't either. I wish there was this game show on TV back in the day. Because it is the most violent game show of all time. It's pretty fantastic. And it's not two, it's me. I don't need a helper. I don't need someone to help me beat this game. Well, it would help, but yeah. The live studio audience and private live via satellite. Man, we are living in the future. The future is now. This is Smash TV. So, I'll give you a countdown and we'll get going here. Stop wasting any more time. I just love that story. Anyway. 3, 2, 1, go. This is Super Smash TV, the home version of the arcade hit Smash TV. And people always say, why do you run this one over the arcade game? And the answer is simple. This is the best version of the game. It's the most fair version of the game. The arcade version is a little unfair in some of the setups, and some versions of the arcade game, you can't even get to the Pleasure Dome. Not that I'm going to be going to the Pleasure Dome today, unless I just happen to have enough keys to get there, and then I'll just visit it for fun. But yeah, you need to collect keys, and in the original game, in the arcade game, wow, that was a waste of a pickup. In the original arcade game, if you got there, they didn't actually program the ending in. So you didn't even get rewarded for doing what you promised to do. It's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of real ridiculous. They did fix it in later arcade machines, but yeah. It was an arcade game. It was designed around taking your quarters, and thus it was unfair. This one makes it a little more fair. It's still tough. It's still a tough game, but it's fun. And so far, you're getting an example of why this game can be a real pain to run. I'm getting really terrible drops. I'm getting stuff I don't want. That's maybe useful. That's a foot. That'll increase my speed and allow me to move around a little faster. However, a second one is just kind of a waste. It doesn't really stack all that well. And wow, I got lucky there. My Razor Shield had not formed, and it just kind of melted against the shrapnel. So we are having a real slow start here. Those are 2 bad rooms to start based on drops. But that's okay. Now this room is an oddity in the game. It actually is, it's a room that has sort of a global or a universal timer in it, which is the shrapnels. Normally I would ignore shrapnels when I'm playing because killing them doesn't... Jeez, Brian. That's twice now I've done that. I'm not playing well on that. But anyway, the most rooms I'd ignore shrapnels because they just keep coming into the end of the room. So killing them, and it takes a lot of shots to kill them, is a waste of my time. However, in this room, there's a set amount of shrapnels that come in, and if you are not killing them off, once you get to 4 in the room, you will have no more spawning. So you're making the room longer, so you got to kill the shrapnels there. Alright, I got a Razor Shield, but I really need, I need an option, an orb. I need a helper here to make me able to kill enemies much faster. So far I haven't seen one. I'm getting weapon drops at least, so that's making up for my lack of an orb. And once we get the orb, you will see why I desperately need that orb, because it allows me to pump. There it is. Alright, now we're good. I've lost most of my shield, unfortunately, but I should be able to maintain my position in the middle of the room here for the rest of the fight for this area of Total Carnage, which is the sequel to Super Smash TV, incidentally. I don't like it near as much as this game, but some people say it's better. And, yeah, for those who haven't played it, this is just kind of like a sort of bullet hell that's a little more fair than your average bullet hell. People say it's tough. It's not that bad. Takes a bit of work to get used to, sure. But anyone can figure it out. So, as you can see, with that orb in hand, I was just slaughtering my way through that room. And I didn't go through the marked exit. I went through a secret exit. On this route, the fastest way to get to the end of the game is actually going through all 3 secret rooms. You can use secret rooms to extend the arenas, or you can use it to shorten the arenas. By doing this, I get to skip a battle room that was up, and instead I'll get to go into the last room before the boss. And now I get to deal with some wall turrets. My good old friends. Gonna take that smart bomb and see if I can kill this guy off. because he's a pain. There we go. And this room, I'm probably just going to hide most of the time. Just because this is the first room in the game where they kind of mix it up and give you a lot of enemy types. And tanks are always a frustrating thing to have to go after. Now, I will get aggressive if the weaponry will allow me to do so. And I'll hold the middle for as long as I can, just so I can keep the fire rate going. The orb, if it gets touched by one enemy, it goes flying off into space. So you've got to be really careful when you get out there mixing it up with the enemies in close. You've got to try to move in a pattern that will allow you to not lose that orb. For speed purposes, you want to have that thing here more often than not. There's a few spots where I'll probably just forego it, or if the luck just doesn't allow me to do it. So, that's the end of Arena 1. Let's deal with the first boss, Mutoid Man. Or as some people in my, my chat will call him, Putroid Man. Typically start with a red swirl. And now we got to deal with a few gunners, no big deal, and now the fight begins in earnest. He's sitting on the best weapon that you can get for this fight, and he's going to waste it. That's pretty typical. You often will lose your second weapon in this room. He will just sit on it like that. And there's some good old SNES slowdown for you. Too much stuff happening. And you can get inside his laser beam range. You just got to be run careful. Are you sitting on it again? He is. What a jerk. What a jerk. We're getting the full Super Smash TV experience today. Because you can't hurt him with your regular gun. That's the problem with his boss. You really can't hurt him unless you get a weapon. Alright, there goes my orb. That was going to happen. Darn it. See, now I'm getting a little desperate because he's been really, really, really trolly with the weapons early on. Your goal here is just to rip them piece by piece here. Just get them torn apart. The weapon I'm getting right now... Wow, he got... That there is an example of poor programming. He shouldn't be able to shoot that high, but since he was moving, his lasers get kind of wonky. And he will run you over, or get you with the laser. This weapon is the weakest weapon for this boss. Unfortunately, it just doesn't do that much. This one is theoretically the second best. Sorry, is the second best. The spreader, though, can do more damage. If you land all your spreader bullets in a shot, it actually does more damage than the rockets would. So right now, we are getting the worst luck. I don't think I've even been able to show you a lobber yet. Here we go. This is the best weapon. This thing will shred him. These weapons only show up in boss rooms. They don't show up anywhere else in the game. Alright, he's going to blow up. And again, you'll notice I'm ignoring the shrapnels. That's because the shrapnels are a waste of ammunition to kill unless I have my regular weapon. And as you can see, the lobber does a ton of damage. So this boss getting a really good time, you want to get mostly lobber drops. And his hitbox up top is a little off. His hitbox is purely his tank treads. So that's the only thing you got to worry about when you're dealing with trying to get near him. So going in above him, you can get away with touching the top of his body and not dying. And he's on his final form now. He regrows a head because that makes no sense whatsoever. But hey, it's a rolling bald man on a tank. What do you want from the game? Alright, that's fine. I left that a little long. I just didn't want to die yet again. And once again, we're getting empty drop. This is an atrocious start. For an example, my best time in this arena is 6:34, and we're going to be over 8 minutes because of the game giving me such atrocious drops. Smash TV, you are the worst. I love you so much. So I'm just going to waste this weapon. You don't want to carry a grenade launcher to the next area because you only fire at half speed for some reason. And after you're done the arena, you get to tally up your prizes. Normally when you're playing, you would go for prizes. Those are the gift boxes that show up, and also the money rewards that show up. And since we're going for speed, we don't want a whole lot. Well, that's not bad. If you can keep it under 200,000 total bonus, you've done okay. So, that's Arena 1. Let's go into Arena 2, where we're going to start with a new enemy. Not orbs. But orbs deal these guys a great amount of damage. We'll just hit that smart bomb. We're going to try to force good weapon drops. So, even though it wasn't full, we want good weapons for this. These guys are electric turtles. Alright, just let a couple get on screen and we'll stop. So they shoot laser beams when they stop moving. They're not bad if you can keep on top of them, but as soon as a lot get on screen, it can get pretty dicey. And when you're starting out, you definitely want to just hide in a corner and try not to get too badly murdered by these things, because they will kill you. Alright. They will get you a lot. It's not an easy place to maneuver, because their movements are also a little janky, to put it lightly. There we go. Got a few there. Alright. No spreaders. The best weapon for this room is the spreader, because these guys only take 2 hits to kill with a regular weapon or a spreader weapon. So they are... With the spreader, you can just cover a lot of ground and you can wipe a lot of them out in a hurry. Rockets aren't bad. Rockets will kill pretty much anything in one hit that's not a boss. Rockets are fantastic for both crowd control and taking up machinery. So we're going to follow the same general pattern. We're going to go deal with Scarface. Oh, Scarface, the destroyer of runs. He's a real jerk. And I was just saying to everyone, I did not want to have the bad luck of a bad Arena 1. And of course, I got a bad Arena 1 because we're on a marathon, which means it is going to just turn up horribly for us. As you can see, the rockets as crowd control just rip through enemies. They rip through entire crowds. If it's not machinery, and even some machinery it rips through. Rockets are a fantastic regular weapon most of the time. So when you don't have an orb, this is the way to play it. You just got to run. That's a key. Remember I was talking about the Pleasure Dome earlier on in the arcade version of the game? Well, right now we're getting lots of keys. So if I keep seeing keys, maybe I'll go for it and we'll go to the Pleasure Dome. Because, I mean, I ain't setting a world record already with this, this 8:15 in the first arena. That's one of the slowest Arena 1s I've thrown down in some time. Just because of the bad luck of the RNG. A lot of what I'd call empty drops. Weapons that aren't going to hurt Mutoid Man. But enough about that. Let's just worry about what we're doing, which is hitting smart bombs and killing these fellas. I don't know what their official name is, but just due to how they kind of just melt as you shoot them, I like calling them plastic warriors. Because they make such a neat little sound as they get hit. I didn't mention this in Arena 1 either, but any room that has a blue floor is a prize room. And at the start of the prize room, this includes secret rooms, you'll get 2 sets of presents. So I'm hoping the presents don't spawn on top of me like that. I'll take it. Alright, the second set's in the middle. Just gotta be careful here. Alright, got a foot. And the drops here have not been... we are on a bad drop set, it looks like. This room tends to give a lot of feet, a lot of keys, and a lot of one-ups. Those rockets are nice. But this room just tends to trend towards not fun time. These segmented snakes are a horrible enemy if you don't have a weapon to deal with them. There'll be 3 of them entering this room. I was going for the smart bomb, but the snake cut me on an angle there. It's too bad, but what can you do? So when you die also, you come in with an invulnerability shield. That is actually you can die in a few rooms and use that to help you advance a little faster through some rooms. I'm still working out the logistics of that to try to increase the performance of my play, but I don't know how many keys I've got. That's got to be at least 4, maybe 5. Okay, this guy's got to die. Go away. That guy just had to go away. He was being a pain. You really don't want to ignore tanks like that. Tanks can be a little vicious for your... you're like, man, we're getting a lot of keys. We might be able to go to the Pleasure Dome. Normally, it's a real pain to get to the Pleasure Dome, but the game is chucking them at me right now. More keys than a latchkey kid. Actually, latchkey kids probably only have 1 key. But the point is that the game is being generous with the keys. Alright. What do I want to do? I guess we'll be a little aggressive. We're behind anyway. Let's be aggressive. Let's just leave that till a tanker shows up. So we don't got to deal with shooting the tanker to pieces. Another one. I don't know if I'll be able to stretch this one out to the next tanker appearance, though. Nope, not quite, I don't think. The tankers don't show up that frequent. Ooh, I really want that orb. Is there any chance I can get it and get to keep it, though? Maybe? Alright, we have an orb. We have another firing platform. Finally. Now can I keep it? And you know what? If I keep it through the next room... I will donate $10 personally to the event. Because this room is not designed to keep this orb. Because these are fast! These are fast. It's these guys, but they're on like heroin or speed or coke, or they've just taken their vitamins. Any way you slice it, they're fast. They do their movement with their lunging movement means you can sometimes walk amongst them and not get hit, but it also means they're going to be really tight and looking to give you the business. As you can see, even corner hiding with the double firing ability. Oh boy! Well, we got it. All right, that'll work. See, once you get out of the corner, you kind of get stuck running. Oh, we're all right for the moment, shockingly enough. Well, I might be donating $10. We are almost at the end of this room. This room's not long, mercifully. And it is probably the best just to approach it this way, unless you see a really good weapon set, or you can see a razor shield. You get a razor shield in this room, you can just control... Ah, dang it. I missed him on the way by, and we were right at... Well, you know what? We're going to get it back. Maybe get to keep it. We'll see. There we go. All right, I'll still donate the $10. I have an orb. That's lawyer donations right there. Lawyer ball. We got it. Buffalo herd. This room is neat. If they would have combined everything into one full attack, this room would have been a nightmare. It's got a lot of variety. You start with these red swirl enemies. No, dumb. Stay away from that door. Yeah, that was a trap if ever I saw one. Start with this red swirl enemies, and pretty soon we're going to get those big snakes coming in. Probably about now. Maybe not now, maybe next. Oh, hi. And this is actually a room you don't want an orb in. If I don't get a good weapon, I might just tank this down. Yeah. We'll see. This is not good. We need a good weapon soon, or I'm going to have to tank a death. Because these guys will still be here when the big bad enemies get here. We might be able to pull this off. Thanks to that lucky rocket drop. As you can see, rockets destroy these guys. Alright, we got it. We just got rid of them in time, because here comes the next enemies. The Film at 11. And then finally, everyone's favorite, the Herka-jerks, as they're called in my chat. Because of how they move. They're herky, they're jerky, they're the Herka-jerks, and they are out for your blood. Another room where basically you're going to hide unless you can get some good power-ups going. Like this. Maybe I can get control of the middle of the room for a minute. And by a minute, I mean like 10 or 15 seconds, probably. Because even with my double fire rate, these guys just will not let you get control of the middle. And even with a shield to help you, the razor shield, they rip it apart too fast. These guys are very tough swarming enemies. They quickly rip shields apart. So you're just usually going to end up spending most of your time just running and doing what you gotta do. Spreader's not bad, but yeah. Now here's another thing about the orb I haven't mentioned yet. It will take double your ammunition. You get 60 shots when you pick up a weapon, but with an orb you go through it in essentially 30 shots because you shoot double. So it rips your ammo apart twice as fast. So it's good and bad in that aspect, but you're not always going to get weapon drops, so ultimately you want the orb for crowd control. Alright. And with that, we're going to go into our second room. Instead of going up, we're going right into secret room number 2. This is a pretty typical Arena 2 for speed right now. Game, you always got to throw presents at my feet. Hey, we have max lives. I didn't even notice. I guess I must have got more 1-ups in that room with the keys than I thought. Alright. The question marks are all part of why you'd be going to the Pleasure Dome. We're going to meet Scarface. Oh boy. Scarface. This guy right here is a treat. And by a treat, I mean he is really... It depends on his mood. If he's in a bad mood, he's just going to kill you a lot. Because he can be super aggressive. So, he has two parts to his form. His face and his shielding, which I've already blasted a little with the rockets. So as you can see, he's flashing on the edge. That's his shielding. And you can see from the lobber, which is the only thing that can hurt his face, I actually, oh no! Oh boy, he almost got me there. He tried to sucker me. His face is already bleeding a little because I put a few lobber shots into him. Because, you know, you take grenades in the face, you're probably not going to have a very fun time. As you can see, his face is getting janked up. He is getting busted. All right, that was not great shooting, but I want to try to get control here to set up for the next part of my rip him down here. No, there, good. The biggest part of this is just trying to maintain control of the room with him. All right, I had to take the rockets a little earlier than I wanted. The best weapon for ripping down his shielding is actually now see what he's doing? There, that's an example of what he can do. Even with the firepower I had, I couldn't control him away from me. Every now and then he'll just do that, and you'll be stuck wondering what you did wrong. And the answer is you didn't do anything wrong. You're just fighting Scarface, or as he's called in my channel, Siniscar, after the famed Sinistar enemy. All right, first form down. That's not bad. And now we get to deal with the second part, which is just as much fun, really. He shoots faster eye shots, but he loses the bullet spam, thankfully. All right, this is good. This weapon is a real treat for him to have. And unfortunately, that orb died because he touched it. Don't you dare. Thank you. All right, he's got like no shielding left already. This is a good sign. All right, can we actually get him off us? Yes, I think we... No, maybe. Dude, get off me. There we go. All right, just blast him in the face. Hopefully we'll get out of here without dying anymore. Oh, I want that. Any chance you're going to let me have that? Nope. No chance. I should have taken the death and got it on the next life. Oh, well. All right, there we go. We're out of here. Not bad. Honestly, for a Scarface fight, that wasn't bad. He only did one... Because the second form, he's in full I'm going to corner you mode, so you need good weapon drops to get him set up. And also, I just love how his face gets busted up, and then when the skin peels off, you get to bust all the skull underneath. It's satisfying. It's satisfying. So right now, I'd say if we have a good Arena 3, I'm going to say, I always try to predict my final time. I'm going to say about a 49.5. That's my prediction. We'll see what happens. It depends how badly the game treats me. Overall, the luck's not been good so far. I'm right now, all I'm doing is I'm going to try to grab as many weapons as I can to try to force an orb. Could you please hit him? Damn it. I was worried. Oh, you're going to see. Snakes are going to come out of the top of this this room like that. So I didn't want to be up there with the orb. So I was trying to get away from the bullets and set myself up to get myself into a location where I would be able to just safely snipe these guys with the orb in hand. Unfortunately, I did not account for the bullets being so deceptively mean. And the good news is for my time now, I can grab all the prizes I want. Because we don't need to count up the bonus at the end of this. The time ends when we exit Arena 3, so that's fun. Unfortunately, I did not get a second gift. But the next room is more dependent on good weapon drops than having an orb anyway. Because this is another one with shrapnels that count as a timer. Remember way back in Arena 1 there was that room? Well, here we don't see the shrapnels to the end. So our goal is to get rid of all of these snake men. Again, I don't care so much about the orb here. I prefer to be right in the thick of things on this room. And I'm getting a phone call, of course. Because why would I not? But focus up, Brad. You got to get this going. All right, I really want that invulnerability. Can I get it? Nope. That's fine, though. It's the same as getting one. All right. See if I can focus up here and maybe play a little better. And then the one red swirl. This room just throws a red swirl at you. Get used to that. Arena 3 loves bringing those guys out of the woodwork on occasion. You'll just see them show up. Right now, I don't think I'm on pace to get these guys gone before the shrapnel show up, but that's not surprising. My drops have been substandard, I'd say. We might get it done. We'll see. It's going to be close. So there's another one-up. Fantastic. Dude! Yeah, this is what I really need when I'm looking for weapon drops and they're just throwing one-ups at me. Yeah, see? This is bad. The timer is telling me I didn't quite get it done in time. So now we got to kill them. And they can be a pain to deal with. With no weapons... There's an orb at least. That'll help me in the next room. I do want one for that room. So that was a generous drop by the game. Wow, man. We are just getting the worst luck right now. It's a lovely name for a room. If ever I had to say it, that is a lovely name for a room. Turtle chunks needed. Oh, we get a rocket. Nice. That's a good start. And a foot. I'll take that too. This room, if you can kill the enemy fast enough, these swarmers, you will not have to face any tank enemies. The tank enemies are you're too long in this room. They're the ones telling you spent too long here. But you need a lot of good drops. Oh, that was a little dicey to do. I should not have risked my orb like that, but that's okay. Right now, rockets are the best for this room because, and here comes the shrapnels. That's no big deal. Shrapnels were going to happen, so we're ignoring them. Shrapnels don't matter. This room is just a universal enemy counter total. And I guess I should talk about the spawning works too. The spawning, there it goes. The spawning in this game, all rooms have an enemy counter. And how it works is once the enemy count in the room drops past a threshold, it'll spawn what? No, I disagree with that. It'll spawn a random amount of enemies from a door. And it'll deduct from the total it gives itself at the start of the room. And if you, once you reach that number, it will stop sending enemies out. However, say the number is 603, and you're at 602, the last spawn can be anywhere from 3 enemies all the way up to, I believe, 12. The game can just give you extra enemies. So yet another part of RNG for running this, you might have to face more enemies in a room on one run, whereas on another run you might get less. And now we get a bit of a break. The next 2 rooms are going to start with these purple snakes coming in, and on top of that then we are going to just collect a bunch of power-ups. And we got ourselves the setup we want. We're just going to take our time, kill the snakes, ignore the other snakes since we have rockets, and we are just going to chill and wait for the purple guys. And eventually, we're going to get new enemies. This is a bit of a breather that the game just throws at you for some reason. Gold, I like it. All right. I did have to shoot those guys because we don't want to lose the orb. And we any more purple snakes? The purple snakes in this room stop a bit before the swarming enemies get here. So the the swarmers showing up here will be a little different because you never quite know when they're going to start. But thankfully they're herkajerks. They don't enter at the fastest of speeds. They kind of get their trolley movement going once they're in the room. And now we're definitely going to hide because there's no way to dance through these snakes that swarm in constantly and keep my orb. Once I lose the orb though, it's open season. It's time to run. And now we're just going to take a few quick kills. I was hoping that with those rockets I could have got if the game put the snakes out the other side of the room. But since they double spawned on my side, there was no way I was going to get there. This is an interesting item to pick up in here. It probably isn't advisable, honestly, to grab this most of the time because you're going to lose it fast. And it takes away a lot of your maneuverability. See how where I am? I can't reach the corner of the room due to the shielding. This is why this is a bit of a risky move on my part. But if I'm going to throw down a good Arena 3, I'm going to have to take a few risks. If I'm going to make up some of the time, I definitely am behind on a good run. I'm going to have to do it. All right, that works. Ah, good. The spawn even went to the right side of the room for me. That was a bit of fortune. But the nice thing about having the shielding is it does allow you to be a little more aggressive with your firing lanes. You just got to be very aware of the enemies spawning out the doors near you because you're going to be very close to them. There we go. Nicely done there. When the shield died, it flew off and it took out a bunch of enemies for me on the way. That's always nice too. And another one. Do I dare risk it? Not really. Nope. We're checking out. This arena, going for power-ups, the idea behind it is to decide, it's risk management essentially. You got to figure out how risky is it to go for it. See, even playing that fairly well, I still almost lost my orb about twice. Because I really went dicey there with the door. I took it close to the door because I had to, because the snake spawn. That's why going for items in here is usually not advisable. But if it works out, well, you gain a few seconds because you killed the enemies in a hurry. That I want, but it's in front of a door. It's going to be tough to get. Without losing my... Oh, I just got away from him in time. All right, we're out of here. Let's go. Witness total carnage. They loved that total carnage line, don't they? So this room starts the same as the last. Snakes pouring in. I get to collect power-ups and try to force some good weapon drops for myself. And we get to deal with that snake. And I guess I'll go get that. It's a refill. He came out of that door awfully slow. This is the first key we've seen in forever. Remember I was talking about I might go to the Pleasure Dome? This is an example of now the keys have dried up, so now I don't know if I'm going to get to the Pleasure Dome. And this is why this game is very frustrating if you're trying to get the full ending. Alright, we want those rockets. Alright, we're not done there yet. We'll hide here for a minute. This is not a corner I want to be in. Those mines make this a very nasty corner to hide in. Alright, here come the swarmers. The last snake shows up with the swarmers here. That I want. Can I get it? Because this will last a lot longer in this room. Sort of. The snakes will eat it pretty hard, but, you know, details. Now I'm just going to try to break this thing intentionally by running it into enemies. There we go. So even though it didn't last long, it did help me. It allowed me to kill some enemies in a hurry, which is always what you want. I really wanted those rockets, but that snake spawn right here from the right meant it was a no-go. I would have had to hide in the other corner, and hiding in the other corner is just asking for trouble. There it is. Dang it. One guy came out that door. That's all it takes is one guy for this game to troll you. That's fine, though. It's boring hiding. I much prefer mixing it up. Even if it's faster, it can even be faster to mix it up than it is to hide. It's just more consistent to hide in the corner in these rooms with an orb. Because you might just get nothing but invulnerability drops, which allows you to really plow the enemy over here. Another key. Nice. I think we're going Pleasure Dome, boys. Gonna try to do it. And girls, for that matter. For that matter, let's see what we can do. Alright. Alright. Now, smart bombs, something about smart bombs. They kill everything, and they stop everything from spawning for a moment, unless you set it off as enemies are pouring into the room. So when you're using it, the most efficient way to use it is try to kill some enemies as you grab it, and see if that'll spawn more foes for you to murder. Not really the corner I want to be in, game. Could you maybe? Could you maybe? Drop something worth going for, too. That'd be nice. And honestly, it's a more pleasurable looking run when you're out there. Let's go. Okay. Get ready. This is a subtle hint, by the way. Actually, there's two rooms named this in this arena. This is the one that goes to the secret room. The other one is actually an exit from the secret room, and you can't enter it from that side, which is kind of a jerk move on the programmer's part. But what can you do? All right, so this room is one that you honestly want to not have the orb for. You'd much rather be mixing it up, because these snakes you can kill faster by mixing it up, assuming you're getting good drops, of course. And if you're not, well, then you're kind of screwed. Ah! He was blocking my shots. I was trying to cut down the swarmers there to make my life a little better. Okay, whoa. Grab that. But these invulnerabilities are doing fine work, too. These will murder the enemy. Extending that past beyond the bounds of good taste, but that's fine. I may not be able to get that now. Nope. Unfortunately, I didn't get it on the first pass, and that allowed the enemies to swarm all over the top of it. We should be done with the purple snakes now, which is good. And let's see if we can get that spreader. Nice. Now, this room has got a nasty surprise up its sleeve after all of this. Red swirls are going to start entering the room about, now. Sometime in the next 10 seconds or so, we're going to start getting swirls. And they are vicious, vicious little creatures, as you know. But in this room, with the cover they have, they can get in really tight to your location. So when they show up, you want to focus fire where they are. You're going to have to let the other enemies get closer, but that's the price. Because when those swirls die, they're death throws. See how those the balls spread out? If those balls hit you or your orb, they'll either kill you or your orb, or both. They've been known to do it. Here's an example of where I might lose my orb because it got in really too tight. You do not want to see that. Alright, I think we're just about done here. Alright, let's go get to secret room number 3. They were really creative with the secret room names. And just because I can, let's grab me some prizes. Woo! Prizes! Alright, let's get me my question mark and get out of here. So it's time to play everyone's favorite game show within a game show, chat. You get to try to guess what kills me first. The left snake, the right snake, both of them together, or neither. Bonus points if the left or right snake kills me immediately without me being able to dodge it. And the answer is both. Thanks for playing our game. Have you ever seen a more arcadey thing in your life? You just die immediately. Now here's the crazy thing about this boss. You'd assume you couldn't stand up here and fight them. You can. For some reason, their hitbox doesn't hit you up here. I guess they're above you in the air here. The only thing you got to worry about up here are the buzzsaws. That was a poor route, unfortunately. That is what you call a fair boss. That happens, oh, I'd say a solid 50% of the time you die first time. As soon as the room starts, you have no choice, you're dead. That is literally what's going to happen. Now, you got to be careful with that level, because the heads become, they will kill you if you touch them at about 40, damn game, you're being mean with the buzzsaws, about 40% of the way down, 40 to 50% of the way down the room. So you're best to fight up here, even if the buzzsaws are being cruel. And their heads are vulnerable. They flash like they're not taking damage, but they do. But any part of their body is vulnerable. Their heads don't give them extra damage or anything, so you just got to hit their body. This weapon is the best weapon for them, but you got to get in really tight to make it work. Now that I have an orb, I'm going to stay in the bottom. So now you're going to have to see me fight these guys in a way that isn't fun. No, game! I had an escape route and you screwed me. Well, so much for that. This is what you want to do with the grenades. You just want to go aggressively into their base because they can't dodge there. They don't move around a whole lot. I'm just going to grab that to get it out of there. I need weapons. Whoa! Could you make, wow! I'm getting really unlucky. The buzzsaws, they have two modes. They can fly straight, or they can work a little bit like homing missiles. And unfortunately, I got about 3 that went homing missile on my rear, and that's no good. That's no good. That was not a great fight. So, almost enough keys, guys. So, you know what that means? That means the next room, we'll have to grab 1 key in the next room and we can go to the Pleasure Dome. So I can't see the chat, but I'm assuming you guys want to see it. So we're going to go to the Pleasure Dome if I can swing it. And the next room will give me plenty of opportunities to get a key. Oh, the next room, it's hard to not get a key spawn in the next room, and you'll see why. But first things first, we got to deal with a menagerie here. This room mixes it up. You get the turtles, the film canisters. We're going to get shrapnels. We got these the electric turtles. And actually, that's about it. We don't get any swarmers, thank goodness. These guys kind of work like swarmers who also cut up the room with their little, their lasers. I like the turtles. They're neat enemies. I've always found them a fun enemy, even if they are vicious. So when you have an orb, the best way to play this room is just run this and shoot diagonals, shoot down, shoot diagonals, because you're just going to hit a lot of enemies doing that and just kill them off as fast as possible. And here come the shrapnels to make the room more fun. Now that, oh boy, this is bad. Luckily for me, that actually lined up okay. Oh, I really want that. Can I get it? Can I get it without losing everything? I can. Now, can I do it now without getting hit? I can. Beautiful. Oh, they almost got me, though. Whew. This is where I want to be fighting this, because these turtles do not damage razor shields very much. And since they don't damage the razor shields a whole lot, you can use the razor shield for a long-term gain in this room by just plowing into them. Now, once the shield gets a little chewed up, then I got to be careful because my orb becomes vulnerable. That is not a weapon I wanted, game. Oh, they're really giving me bad weapon drops here. Since they gave me this shield, they've really been going out of their way. See, like, there's an example. That guy got inside of my shield. If he was not fully dead, he would have taken my orb there. Now I got to start the arduous task of trying to line up a razor shield. There we go. Hitting these guys with a razor shield is not an easy thing to do. Their movement is erratic, and they spawn out the doors, and they can be very, very vicious, like coming right down the wall as they come out of the door, which is not what you want. That is not a thing you want to deal with. All right, room's over. That was good. That was a good room. That orb drop really made that possible. Who's ready for not? Oh, I didn't have enough. I thought I had enough. Never mind. We're not going to the Pleasure Dome. I thought that with that expression we'd be good. Oh, that's just mean. That's just mean. So we're not going to the Pleasure Dome. That's a shame. I thought it said almost enough keys, and I thought that was the correct message. Apparently not. Well, we're not. So instead, guys, when we're done, I will show you what you get if you go through all 3 secret rooms and get to the Pleasure Dome. I will show you what you would get as a quick little bonus. We'll just do a quick, easy percentage run. This is a good drop. So this room starts with nothing but swarmers. This room is going to be full of swarmers. Wow. Not a cool drop, game. At least it didn't land on me, so it didn't curtail my ability here to hit the enemy. So with this razor shield, as you can see, I can just stand and deliver for a while until the shield gets chewed, and then it's just time to bail. Like, I'm just going to bail now. Trying to use, there we go. I was trying to get it chewed up. Now, interesting thing about both the orb and the razor shield, when you have an orb or a part of a razor shield, or sorry, any part of a razor shield, I should say, you cannot collect another orb or razor shield, and that includes 2-player. So you're only ever going to have one option going for yourself. So when your razor shield is like hanging on by a thread, it's often better to break it intentionally for the purpose of speedrunning, because you're going to hope to get another one as soon as possible in most rooms. And right now we're getting garbagey grenade launchers. Grenade launchers don't have much range, and they're erratic in their firing. That they're like a crappy version of a spreader. You really don't want to deal with that. Oh, that was so mean! That is an example of the game setting you up. I swear the game sets up these potentials. This room has 2 red swirls, and you just met one of them. There's the second one. That was vicious, game. They're on a timer, kind of, but the timer is very erratic. It's about the 2-minute mark, a minute 45 to 2 minutes, somewhere in that range. But it has to do with spawns past a certain point. They've got to spawn X amount of swarmers before they'll come in. So it's it's a little difficult to pinpoint it. I want that really desperately. Can I set it up? Yes, I can. Now, can I keep it? That's the next job. No, get out of here, shrapnel. This is my corner. You go get your own corner. You can explode somewhere else. Well, he exploded there, but you get the point. The point is, this is my corner, and I don't want shrapnels in it. It's a waste of my time having to kill them. They can blow themselves up. And now we're getting doubled here. That's not good. I managed to do enough damage to that shrapnel ahead of time that I could get him just before he went and exploded. Right now, I'm not sure we're going to break 50. I can't remember the last time I didn't break 50, but I've taken a few bad beats, and there's been just enough bad luck in the first 2 arenas that it's possible. We'll see what we get with the last boss. The last boss will determine how this run finishes up. Like, it could go anywhere from 48 to, like, 51, depending on the drops. Because if you saw with Mutoid Man in Arena 1, if you don't get good drops, you're just not going to do any damage. I'm already talking about that because this room is very academic at this point. It's just going to be swarmers and shrapnel. I really want that. Can I get it? Can I get it? Can I get it? Yes. I had shielded to take a bunch of damage to set it up, but I got it. So now we can just try to fire. See how long the shield lasts. It's probably going to break pretty quick because I had to plow it into a lot of enemies to set this up. But that's fine. Oh my god, another key. Too bad it doesn't mean anything. If it says not enough keys, you can't get to the Pleasure Dome from this room. You have to have it say almost enough, and then you need to collect 1 key from this room. Is this the first rockets I've had in this room? It might be. This is an example of the game chaining weapons. This is the other way to control the middle of this room. Is if it'll chain weapons, you can just sit in the middle and fire all day. Except this weapon. This weapon's bad. It actually worked out okay because of where the enemies spawn. I was able to just, you know, fire and forget. Well, you know what? I'm going to see if I can force the game into... You know, I'm just going to go for every key. Screw it. If the game hadn't stopped giving me keys in the first place, we would have been in the Pleasure Dome easily. After that one brief run of crazy amount, they just took them away. Or maybe they were giving them and I just didn't see them, because when you're speedrunning it, you're just trained to ignore that automatically. You don't want those. Man, lots of orbs being dropped. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I don't think we're breaking 50. Wow, this is why I estimated 52. If the bad luck is with you, the bad luck is with you. There's nothing you can do. Another key. Nice. And you might think, why did I not get hit by that mine? The mine hit detection is a little generous. So if you're below them, you can grab weapons that appear like that. They actually set them up so that no item or weapon is ungrabbable. See, the game's taunting me with all these keys. It really is. It's like, you're not going to the Pleasure Dome, buddy. Sorry. All right, the room is done, finally. Let's see. Am I going to get the Pleasure Dome? Pleasure Dome exit would be to the south. That's too bad. Eat my eyeballs. The last room in the game. You might notice that big hole up there. That might look familiar. That's because the developers recycled a boss. They thought, you know what? This game's not that long. But this is the old oh, really, game? That was an atrocious movement pattern. I was hoping not to use a credit, but don't block it. Don't block it. Good boy. So they decided, you know what? We can reuse it. It's the 90s. It's fine. That's Game Design 101 back in the day. Could you get off that, maybe? All right, that's fine. So we get the same style as the Arena 1 boss. This is the evil MC. He's in the fray as a big ol' mech tank sort of dude. He's a bit of a jerk. And instead of lasers, he's shooting his literal eyeballs at you. Over and over and over. He's a disgusting guy. But it is kind of cathartic after all his mocking during the game for you to kind of be able to put it to him. See how quickly he lost his arms? And he takes more hits than Mutoid Man. He has more health. But since I'm getting lobbers, he's going down much faster. Oh, he was being... Oh, I hate when they do that vibration movement. It's tough to try to time that. Right now, I'm getting crazy luck on the weapons. As you can see, he's already in his down 3 forms. This is ridiculous. Utterly absurd. This is insuck, danger. He suckered me. He suckered me. He got me. Now he's got to wait for a weapon drop. That's a foot. There's no weapon over there, so I'm just going to... Excuse me? Huh? All right. You're the game. All right. We're back in business here. Let's see if I can stop playing badly. I was tracking well there for a while, but dang it. I wanted that grenade launcher. Really wanted that grenade launcher. It's not a great weapon, but it fires all its shots quick, so that's one bonus it has. Rockets are slow. And you'll notice that I still had rockets in the clip. I wasn't going to expand it out. The reason you don't expand it out is you're trying to force lobber drops. The lobber is king on these bosses. Alright, he should be busting into his final form here. We still might break 50. The lobbers have really made it possible. There we go. Alright. He might not die to this weapon. He might take one more weapon after this. We'll see how many shots actually land. This form... see, he's being a jerk with his movement. This form is very fast and mobile. So hitting him with lobbers is not the easiest thing in the world. But if they're going to keep feeding him to me... There you go. We finished up a little better. And for the fun of it, to celebrate... Let's hit a couple mines and go out the door, and then after this, I'll show you what your reward is for getting all 5 question marks in the game. We're only going to get 4, unfortunately. Now we just gotta wait. Because all I do is just get prizes. You get about 57 seconds of prizes you've got to worry about. So not only in the run you got to worry about prizes to not collect in the first 2 arenas, but then you're stuck at the end on a speed run, sitting there waiting. Why does no one else run this game? I don't get it. It's like one of the greatest speedrunning titles. When you're getting the luck and you're pounding the enemy to smithereens and you're throwing down a ridiculous time, it really is fantastic. Bingo! Just one more, but it's back and down. So left and down away from where I am. And that's the time as we fade to black. So just for fun, we're going to quickly do a different setting. We're going to do a easy mode or easy turbo mode run, which is only Arena 1. You're going to see turbo mode. Now, to get turbo mode, like I said, you normally have to visit the Pleasure Dome. However, there's a code you can enter to do it. And that code is left, right, left, up, RR. So, if the timer's ready, I don't know if it's ready for you guys or not, but 3, 2, 1, go. This run should be anywhere from 5.5 to 6.5 minutes. It is going to be fast. And you're going to see how crazy it is. You thought the game was fun before? How about we just boost the speed? And the good news is on easy mode, you don't got to worry about collecting the prizes. As you can see, it's a little faster. It's a little faster. I split that a little late. Oh my. All right, collect power-ups. Now, you're going to notice something. If I keep this orb for a little bit of time, you're going to notice something odd happening here. This mode is so broken that when you run it, or when you're playing it, look at my orb. Look at my orb. Right now, look at it. It is already off kilter. The longer you have an orb, the more screwed up it's going to get. So, this is interesting. In this particular one, it's really hard to keep ahead of the enemy here. I'm getting weapons and good drops. So the more I move, the more this orb incidentally is going to get offline. So the shrapnels are tough to stay ahead of unless you're getting good drops like that. I actually managed to stay well ahead of it. That's not bad. All right, let's go. This room is going to be not about hiding with an orb. In this mode, hiding with an orb just doesn't do you any good. You're better just to play aggressive on turbo. Lose the orb when you lose it. That's fine. And then just deal. Really, you just want to stand and deliver, even more so than normal. Oh, good. Oh, there's a mine there. I was going to say a foot on turbo mode. That's what you need. You need to go faster in this mode. You need to be faster. You know? There we go. We're fast. Look how fast we are now. Can you follow? Could you think you could follow this? It's ridiculous. It's absurd. It is absurd that they expect you to follow that. Give me them prizes. We're not collecting any more than that because there's no more to collect on this mode. Oh, tank trouble. This is going to be a treat. I'll get rid of them pretty fast at least. Alright, got rid of the wall cannons without dying. That's good, honestly. A lot of bullets in this room can be a real problem because they are not easy to dodge. Whoa! I almost got picked off by that shrapnel. The drops have been much better in this turbo mode, so I'm actually making better time, like by a lot. And entering the boss room, this is the last room. we're currently on world record pace for this mode right now. We're currently on world record pace. Let's see if the drops will bear that out in the boss room. That's not a good start. These drops are not doing me any favors. Wow. This is ridiculous. The drops have been terrible. And on easy mode, he dies quicker, too. So if I start getting some lobbers, we might be in business. Oh my god, game! Stop it! I don't think we can even get it now. These drops have been atrocious. Making your boss be invulnerable to the regular gun is a bit of a jerk move. And also, we haven't seen a lobber yet. They give me lobbers, you'll see this guy die in a hurry. On easy mode, he dies crazy fast. Dang it. Oh, I did get it. I didn't think I ran that well enough to get it. All right, lose your head already. Unfortunately, guys, the drops were so bad that world record's not happening. We actually had a shot there until that happened. Oh my god, I'm alive. I just assumed that shrapnel was going to get me. And there you go. That is easy percentage turbo mode. And we missed world record by about 13 seconds. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it. Thanks for joining me for some Super Smash TV. Hope you had a good time. I'll be sending that $10 donation in for what I did in Arena 2 on the normal percentage run. Hope you had a good time. Hopefully they've got someone all lined up and ready to entertain you next with another wondrous game. Thanks so much for letting me run it, NASA. And I'll see you guys in space. Bye-bye.